Wait, do you have to distill beer? I don't think you do.
No.
I think
No,
it's
It
just a
would be a
brew.
distillery, huh?
I feel like you could.
I think it would
I
ruin the product a good bit, but
I
Would it?
honestly don't really understand the process of distilling, so I wouldn't know. Even though we went to a distillery.
well, a lot of beers are
Well-
like cloudy and intentionally, and distilling would completely do away with that.
Oh,
'Cause
okay.
it's about getting purity. They keep like evaporating
that
and
pure.
purifying.
Cool. Yeah. Maybe with like a weird sour beer or something.
I mean, but if, at the end, no, because like it would end up just removing alcohol from
Yeah.
the like oat, barley, wheat,
It's like
hops,
too
etc.
meaty. Yeah.
Yeah.
Too planty.
These are the things we got to find out. We're becoming worldly by learning about distilling versus brewing.
I've been to a
It's
few breweries
true.
and distilleries in my time, so
We
I'd
have
like
a
to go to
podcast
some more.
the knowledge is
and
there.
people rely on us for factual information now, you know?
Mhm. I
Yeah.
recently
To
broke
gather.
a pint glass that I'd had for a couple of years.
Which one?
It was RAR Brewery. It was a St. Patty's Day
Wait,
pint
hold on, because
glass.
we might have two of those. So I'll go check in a second. If we have two still, you can fucking have one
We
because
have
it's
too
one
many
of my
pint glasses.
least favorite glasses, and
Well,
I have too many.
it's got a good memory associated with it because we weren't there for St. Patrick's Day. It was after St. Patrick's Day. They gave us the glasses for free with the purchase of a beer because they had too many of these glasses. They're like, we can't use these
Yeah.
anymore. Please just take the glass home with you. And I was like,
Which is how like I think we each got one. Like, yeah, normally you walk away with like a commemorative glass. No, like everyone had that.
no, yeah, you didn't have to like pay extra for the commemorative glass. It was just like keep the glass. We don't want them. We don't have a use for them now.
I think I also have a St. Patty's Day for Deep Ellum. Why do we have? Was it actually that? Or maybe their colors are just dark green. I don't know. Why do I have all these?
No,
St.
they've got
Patrick's
the Deep Ellum's logo is the yellow, like the smiley face, but the mouth is replaced with a sideways like beer bottle.
Yeah, but it's like that and green.
Oh, okay.
And it might also be St. Patrick's Day. I'd have to go check.
Maybe it was Deep Ellum.
No, you're the one you have is RAR, and it says like, oh, what does it say? Something I'm Irish. It's like
Fight me, I'm Irish or something. I don't
I'm
know.
Irish, I
One of
think,
those.
yeah.
Just
Yeah.
racially insensitive towards the Irish.
I've
No,
never
I like
liked
it.
that glass.
We're fine.
That's true. You're Irish. You can say it.
Everyone's sensitive about it except the Irish.
We're cool.
I had a friend who he was at a restaurant. He's like, I really like this glass, and then he just took it.
Oh
I've
yeah,
done that.
I've been there, done that.
When you carry a large purse.
See, but he didn't. He
he
just
I know
like
people that walk out. Yeah.
in his jacket, like, all right, see ya.
Pro shit.
Yeah.
We love petty thievery,
Mm.
the coolest of crimes.
I think the one that I stole might have already been free though, but I was just like, well, I don't know if it's free, so I'm just gonna be very sneaky.
Just gonna
about
go
it.
ahead and take it.
It's a balloon day situation. In that episode of SpongeBob, Free Balloon Day.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
and
yeah.
he feels bad the whole time. No, I feel that way. I can't.
Our listeners who don't like SpongeBob
Hey,
won't get that one.
listen up.
Stand by what I said. I stand by what all
Oh,
of
yeah.
us said.
It was said.
No, I said what I said.
You know, it's like we've discussed it before, but it continues to boggle the mind that like somewhere out there someone isn't into it and isn't
people are
into
scumbags.
SpongeBob. And
Some people are garbage.
I don't know those people. I don't
Don't
want to.
associate it with the type. I don't like y'all.
We politely but firmly ask them to leave.
What is that from?
That's King of the Hill. It's like, what if they want their steaks well done? And he's like,
Right.
well, we politely but firmly ask them to leave.
And fair to do so.
Yeah. The only thing I take back is things that are factually incorrect. The walk back of the week. So there are two things on deck for this one. So I said there was a new DS coming, like Nintendo DS. That's not true. I can't find any information on it anywhere, but it was trending on Twitter.
No one ever talked about it even. It wasn't trending on Twitter.
No, it
All
was.
in your mind. It's all in your mind.
You're
Fake
losing it.
It's all
You're
set
You're,
up.
you're cool, dude. All that Twitch fame's going right into your head.
Thinks he can just say whatever.
And then the Dreamcast scenario I was more correct about, but still wrong. He didn't die, and it wasn't the amount that they lost. It was a good chunk of it, but not all of it. And he also
Well, I'm
isn't
glad he
dead.
didn't die.
Yeah, yeah. He just had a failed company. Was all.
Happens.
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 and he took responsibility. So
He did.
like,
Yeah,
kudos to
he
him.
felt bad.
Sometimes a company fails.
So this is episode 4, the 4th episode, and we're taking a little bit of a different direction. We said last week we had a plan coming in to do hot takes and half bakes. This week we had some back and forth on whether we should talk about what we're going to talk about.
A lot
We'll
of
see.
reactionary stuff.
If it's
Yeah, I got the gut stuff out, so
if we don't like it, I can take it out.
easy.
Yeah.
It
And
never
you will
happened.
be none the wiser.
Stupid.
Idiot.
All the
Power
things
of
I've
editing.
Look how we trick them.
all the things I've said here, and you guys will never hear.
Never. But I know.
Yeah, we
They
know.
I'll never forget.
You don't know.
Anyway,
Now that we've thoroughly insulted our audience.
They're listening to us. How smart can they be?
Jesus. Shut up.
so the first one we have on deck, I threw out there. This one's not so much the heavier stuff. Is there's a new Crash game coming out. There's a new Crash Bandicoot game coming out March 12th, and it's only $40. That's another high note for them. It's not a full price game, but it's a $40 new Crash Bandicoot title.
I wonder if
Yeah.
it'll be any good.
It's about time.
Yeah,
How long has it been?
No, wait, that's a different one.
I'm not sure how long it's been. We kind of all were like, we're all not really huge Crash Bandicoot fans, but this is
Played 'em
what
really
caught my attention. Is it sets him up real good to be the next Smash DLC. Sets him up
Yeah.
real good.
Yeah, yeah.
Is
Coming
that
in.
exciting? Would you want
He's
to play as Crash?
he's a highly requested character up with your Raymans and your
Waluigi.
Waluigis and
He's a
such.
trophy already. It's just, it's not. That was a
The
death.
disrespect is out of this world.
It is a little nutso, huh?
All Waluigi really likes to do is play tennis, so he's just gonna stay in that lane. I
With the
guess.
damage he could do with that racket.
Right? I think he's got to be. I think he's got to be the last one. I think he
That'd
he
be
must
perfect.
be.
Guess
would
he's
be
just got a golf club. Yeah, he could use a tennis racket.
Yeah.
You are also telling me that Smash Ultimate is like, it's the name is literal. It's meant to be the last Smash.
Yeah, this
Is
is-
that true?
That was the announcement that they made, which is why they ended up going with Fighters Pass 2 to kind of continue support for it because it did a lot better than they thought.
Yeah, and I know they've said it. You know, I accept that they've said. I just don't believe it. Like,
I don't
it's-
believe it at
yeah.
all.
I don't see Nintendo. You know, whatever follows the Switch being like, nah, we're not gonna put a Smash game on this. It's
I've never
What
seen a
would you
company
do?
abandon valuable IP.
Right.
I've never seen it.
I have.
Endlessly. Like a Smash game will always sell. People will always buy the new Smash. Right?
You would think? I would
Ye-
think.
I would, yeah. I mean, a
Maybe
lot
it's
of
a generational thing. I don't know.
a lot of us didn't for a long time, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
did
I-
not.
Yeah.
I bought it on launch,
I just
but
got it.
yeah, you guys all just got it. And you just got your Switch, so that might have had something to do with it. But Remy, you've had yours for quite a bit longer. I think.
I got it this past spring, so almost a year now.
Yeah. So it was out there, right? It just wasn't high on the list because
There were
Yeah.
other games I wanted more. Yeah.
exactly. So maybe not. Maybe it isn't a must buy for a lot of people. You know, maybe will this be the last Smash game? Or they dirty
Thought I was on the
liars?
outside of that. I thought I was like the dickhead for being like, Smash, nah.
I mean,
Well, it's fallen into that weird spot where you've got a lot of different crowds that that can play Smash, right? You've got people that take it really seriously, the esports competitive crowd, and then you got the people that like only ever see it as a party game, and then you got the poor schmucks in the middle that like take it more seriously than the party game, but man, they've never gone to a tournament, or if they did, they got just trashed really quickly. And I fall somewhere in there. You know, I'm one of those poor schmucks.
Yeah.
So
Shouldn't have
I'm
been like that,
making
dummy.
fun of me too.
Yeah, just be better, duh.
Yeah, or just,
worse.
like, party, you know, or turn the items all the way up, you know.
Yeah.
You either like the game enough to play it without showering, or you don't.
Yeah, there's a trade-off somewhere where you just stop showering and that it's skill versus showers and it's just a downward correlation.
Oh yeah, I'm convinced that a Smash player's ability is directly correlated to their armpit stench.
Yeah, when you realize that shower time could be combo learning time, matchup learning time, that's when you break through that threshold.
Yeah,
I don't have time for deodorant. Roy's kicking my ass.
Smash tournaments are notoriously smelly, like unironically, like
Oh,
Mhm.
you can go in there and it's actually gross.
Yeah, it's like part of their reputation. It's up there with. I think they're probably more known for it at this point than like, you know, Magic the Gathering tournaments, which is what I knew as the smelly tournament prior to like Smash, like winning that reputation off of them.
you can't just get that stain out of your community either.
No,
Y'all are
no,
the smelly boys now.
those conference halls like they
We
smell
know
that
about
like,
you.
long after, you know.
Among
Something
other
like that.
things.
The
Yeah.
butt crack
Oh,
guy
there's
was
all-
banned from those
The butt
tournaments,
crack
right?
guy.
Yeah.
The
he was Magic the Gathering though, wasn't he?
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. I think
Oh.
he was banned from
God, what a-
like Magic the Gathering stuff from then on. Like nobody's exposed us.
Big old legend.
He was allowed back. I remember reading about
Was
fall.
he? Okay.
He was allowed back, but he had to promise not to do that again. He's like, you can't do that. Dude.
I would do it anyway.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
he would've just done it again.
You're gonna have to make me leave.
a lifetime ban.
Yeah.
It's like, look, I did it
Last
because
time.
the world needs to know about this terrible, terrible thing we all have put up with.
But yeah, that was my notable thing about the whole Crash announcement. I mean, there's a point where, you know, most to me, 3D platformers end up being 3D platformers, you know? It's
The
like-
genre has seen its limits these days.
Yeah, there's a few,
That's
like you just
true.
finished Odyssey, Remy. That one I felt to be a little bit more different and like exciting versus like a Crash game or like a Rayman game or even like Donkey Kong Country. They all kind of seem to have kind of made it to their like almost their limits and they're only making tiny adjustments from game to game.
Yeah, and in those examples, both Rayman and Donkey Kong Country have returned to 2D. You know, like they might be little 3D models or whatever, but like they've returned to 2D platforming because like that's where platforming is generally considered to be at its strongest, right? Like there's exceptions, of course, that in the transition to 3D, Mario being the obvious one. But like a lot of platforming like died off once games became 3D.
Mm-hmm.
But Mario don't miss for like unless,
Yeah.
Can you think of an example? Has Mario missed? Because the like examples of Mario games is like, no, that was good. That one's good too. You know, just the platformers.
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
Yeah, nothing comes to mind.
I mean, some people would say Super Mario 2, right? But
They
I
might.
think it's only because it's so different from the other 2D Mario's.
Mhm.
2D.
And it wasn't
Oh.
developed as a Mario either.
Yeah.
Was it? No, it was. Yeah, it's like a
It was like
reskin of
reskinned in the
another
last
game.
second. Yeah. Some shit like
I
that.
love it. I love Super Mario.
Well, catch me next week on Walk Back Wednesday. I don't know.
We'll run it back and find out how right or wrong we were.
We'll
betting on
whoever
right.
said that in the server.
I feel right. Does that help?
Tyler, why'd you say that?
God damn it, Tyler.
It's just,
God
it was the
damn it.
long con from him. He's getting better at.
How did you like Odyssey, Remy? What are you kind of said it on stream? I think Tyler asked you. I asked you how you liked it, but we need a long-standing place to find your opinion on Odyssey.
Oh, okay. Well, so I guess it's kind of hard to really sum it all up. It was a very solid game. I really enjoyed it. Like I said, Mario don't miss. I didn't really play Super Mario 3D World. Like, there's a big vacuum between Super Mario Galaxy and Odyssey, and so it felt like a fairly significant change up to the formula of Mario games, just with how like plentiful the moons are, and how varied the challenges or puzzles were to unlocking them. I really liked it. I thought it was great. I think my favorite is probably still Sunshine. The flood inclusion is hard to beat for what it let them do platforming wise. But the hat was great. Using that to kind of like change forms and all that, very satisfying. I don't think I disliked any of the hat forms you could take.
Nice. Yeah, I enjoyed the game quite a bit myself. But yeah, having you just so freshly beaten it and it right in your mind, figure we touch on that quickly.
I do want to get that darker side of the moon challenge knocked out. I'm kind of just chipping away at it because you need most of the moons in the game to even unlock the challenge. And then I did accidentally read, like, I wanted to look up what I would get for it. I did read that the prize was basically just a multi-moon. I guess the cutscene too that you get, like the little conversation you get with Cappy. But yeah, it was like, oh, that's it. Okay, I'll get to it. We'll chip away at it. We got a little bit of a road ahead of us.
Yeah, not at the top of the to-do list right now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we've got this. It begins
Straight in. Let's go.
So, one of the actresses from The Mandalorian has come under fire recently. Her name is Gina Carano. She plays Cara Dune. So she's the shock trooper, the big tough woman that he finds in the bar on that one planet, and then she comes around and whatever. But she has been on social media a little bit, and getting a few people upset, and it's splitting the Star Wars community right now. She has been poking fun a little bit at pronouns. So the context for that being, people were asking her to put her pronouns in her bio to show support for trans people, right? And people who use, other pronouns. And she was like, pretty much like, I use, she, her, like, it's not anything that you wouldn't, like you look at me and you think she, her was pretty much her angle. And so she wasn't going to do it, and she kept getting bothered. And then her response to that was putting her pronouns as beep and boop. Yep. And it was like beep / boop in her Twitter bio. And that's kind of where it all started. And everyone was kind of like, that's not really an okay thing to do, to just make fun of that, So that was her first strike. Strike number 2 was iffy. everyone's still kind of shaky about it, but if you look into her other social media, you can kind of see where it comes from. She was posting anti-mask stuff on her Facebook, but they weren't sure at the time if it was ironic or not, because it could have gone either way. Like, I saw them, I don't remember what they are now, but it could have gone either way. So that was strike 2, and every time these things happened, Fire Gina Carano was trending on Twitter. And the third strike for her was liking tweets that were supporting the storming of the Capitol.
Yeah.
Yeah. You won't be able to find them anymore because she unliked them. And then there
Everything's
was
archived though.
Yeah, I'm sure you could Wayback Machine and find it, but
Or just hit Reddit, be like, who screened it? Because I know 35,000 of y'all did.
Yeah, someone saw it, and that had to be their immediate reaction to it.
It's tough because at bare minimum, she's an idiot.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, whether you mean any of this stuff or not, you're too stupid to own a social media account. You need to fuck right off.
Yeah.
Because at bare minimum, you don't know how to read rooms, you don't know when irony is appropriate, and you don't know what a joke is. So, cool. That's the best it could go for you.
Yeah.
It struck me as like very just like, oh, you just don't get it at first, because I did come in on that initial trending. I was like, what? Why? Or no, you know what? I think I came in on that trending, but I didn't see it. And it was because I had just watched The Mandalorian and I was curious about her as a person. And I Googled her. I saw that she'd like been in, was it like American Gladiators or something like that? And like, I had it's so fucking weird that I had the thought, like, I wonder what her pronouns were. Like, I was just like, is she just like a straight, cisgendered woman? And I like went and saw that she'd like said that. And I was like, okay, well, I get maybe that there's like this angle of like masculine female kind of gets questioned and like doesn't really want to deal with that shit and wants to like, make a stance against it. And the beep boop thing was like really annoying, but felt like almost like a lighthearted way of saying just like, don't worry about it. And like, to an extent, get that. I can see the angle where maybe she wasn't like directly just like trying to make fun of trans people, right? But like, it ultimately is stupid, does minimize, and like, this is a valid thing to be concerned about, because that it's a really fucked up situation, the way society treats trans people.
Yeah.
But I think everything since then sounds like, oh, maybe it was just like, the tip of the iceberg. Like, we're getting a little bit of exposure into what this woman thinks, and she didn't really want to make it like bold and known right away, but it's coming out, right? And I don't know. Yeah.
When you start getting more context on her and her views, it's like, I don't think you meant this as like a harmless joke or a way to like just kind of play it off. I think you're probably a jackass.
Yeah.
And here's something that like you didn't specifically mention when you talk about her strikes that I kind of expected to hear from you, because like you guys are sort of my alert on the trends to look in on. And I'm sorry if this gets bright. This is just a really bright page I had to pull up. But
I mean, it's incandescent.
Yeah, right. It's just a bright. It's like, oh god, I need. Anyway, she shared some more posts that compared today's political climate to Nazi Germany, and it's
backwards.
And that's specifically like, because there's a comparison to be made, right? A legitimate comparison to be made, but she compared Trump supporters to the Jewish people of the Holocaust situation.
I
that
could
they're
read
being
the
oppressed
exact
for
quote
their
if you want.
political views. But yeah, don't read it.
Quote, Jews were beaten in the streets, not by Nazi soldiers, but by their neighbors, even by children. Because history is edited, most people today don't realize that to get to the point where Nazi soldiers could easily round up thousands of Jews, the government first made their own neighbors hate them simply for being Jews.
And you know what?
Taken,
That's
ta- taken just there, it's like okay, like I don't know where we're going here.
Right.
How
Going
is
the right
that?
direction, though.
Yeah.
The
To
case
finish
of
it,
a fucking neighbor lynching a man.
to finish it, how is that any different from hating someone for their political views? Well, it's very different for
so many reasons.
just like at its core. Like
You chose to be a piece of garbage. I can hate you for it.
Yeah.
Easy. You said, I think I'm going to align my views with racists and homophobes and the uneducated in general. And you know what? You have to respect me because it's my opinion. I don't have to respect you at all.
What's real fascism is you telling me I'm an asshole for these things. It's like, no, it's not. It's not. You have the right to say the bullshit you want to say, and I have the right to call it bullshit when it is.
Yeah.
So there, like, and you're right. It doesn't extend to how I will react to your shit. It stops well before that point.
Well, and she's not wrong that this like civilian on civilian shit happens. And it is often a direct result of political brainwashing, ideological brainwashing. And I just like, it's kind of funny the way one side of this debate tends to use the tactics that they're using against, or to act like victims, just like, oh, you're doing to us the thing that we're like actively and visibly loudly doing to you, right? Like there are like lynchings, there are fucking like weird bigoted murders and attacks and shit happening, but they're happening in large degree to people of color, to people who of not cisgender straight orientation, of like many of these groups that are decidedly not conservative. Like it's not you, it's you're not under attack. It's not you.
And in fact,
your political view is not illegal.
Not at all.
In several countries around the world, it's very different.
And if we were going to talk about like civilian on civilian assaults, neighbors attacking neighbors
Of a political sort, even.
Let me point your attention to October 3rd,
Yeah.
2020, Denton, Texas, right outside of a Buc-ee's. A couple kids roll by a Trump protest, and they play FDT by YG, a classic song with a great message. Fuck Donald Trump. Easy. Let's bang that. Because he has the right to. You can drive past a protest with a song playing. Not a big deal. They get confronted by Trump supporters who decide, well, they played this song I don't like. I think we'll assault them. Let's punch this kid in his face. This is a college student, and this is a 44-year-old man punching him in the face.
Not a good look.
And who's assaulting who?
For their political beliefs?
Yeah.
No, eat shit.
I just
Eat
haven't heard. I just like, maybe it obviously always exists, people attacking people for political beliefs. And I'm willing, to believe that it happens to Republicans on occasion. I just don't think that it's happening on the same level. It's just not. It's just fucking not. And it's not happening in the same way she's describing it happening to Jewish people, for it not being about their political beliefs. That is not, it's for their race. Being Jewish is not just a religious system, it's a culture. It's like people identify with it whether they observe their religion or not. Like this is not the same as a political like debate. It's just no.
Right.
And
they were being scapegoated the way Mexicans are in America today. They're a scapegoat race.
Yeah, no, totally. Yeah.
Except you were able to convince more people in Nazi Germany, I guess. Well, it's
Remains
like
to be seen.
going back to like, this isn't so much about, the whole political side of things, but when she's saying that people don't know that like Hitler turned the German people against the Jews, do people not know that? Like,
No, we
obviously,
super
like
know
they weren't
that.
just walking by like, yeah, like they're just taking them. My hands are tied. I don't know. Like,
Well, have you read
No,
like
no.
the Diary of Anne Frank? I mean, she was at risk of being exposed by neighbors. Like it's yeah, that's part of the history lesson is that the entire country was against them, and
Mhm.
it's just it doesn't. No, it's stupid. She's
Mhm.
idiot. She's dumb. She
Yeah,
should be
it,
fired.
and
You
it's
know what? Cancel Gina. Cancel Gina.
yeah. I want to say if Disney, I want to bring up like Disney's responsibility in all this. If Disney can fire James Gunn for some tweets from like 10 years ago now, we can definitely take a look at what we can do about this person being and their shitty like posts on Instagram here and now, right? Like it's without a doubt. But
In
You're
the
goddamn right.
Disney's like track record on this kind of shit is spotty at its best.
inconsistent. Yeah.
Yeah, it really is. And I don't know. They I don't know if they get a free pass or not. I don't know if I can make that statement, but it's like not enough attention gets shown to, like on Disney not doing their fucking part in these situations.
I agree. And fuck a free pass.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Fuck that. Get that out of here. And honestly, like they from a corporate standpoint, from a purely corporate standpoint, anybody should be able to step back and say, at bare fucking minimum, this person doesn't know what it is to be a public figure. You can't even avoid snafu
Yeah.
on a gimme. You're a fucking idiot. I'm not paying you for shit anymore.
At this point, how is it not like just in your contract that like your social media posts like this, just like, sorry, it's no longer just yours. It's like
You represent us now.
you work for Disney now. Like,
Oh, but you forgot Walt Disney was anti-Semitic, so it's okay, right?
They love
Same,
this
the values
shit.
line up.
We're the Jews.
Go to Disney World.
But while all of this was happening within the company, everyone pretty much hated her
Good.
for the most part, and were really on board with the get her out of here thing. But they think, and this is based on like insider information. There's one insider over at I'm not sure if it's Disney or LucasArts, but or Lucasfilm. He has a Patreon where he just leaks information.
Sick.
oh,
I love that.
And so Jon Favreau doesn't really care about your political views, and they're wondering if that's why she's safe right now, is
Probably.
because Jon Favreau's just like, if you're good at your craft, I don't care. Like, I really couldn't care less.
mm-hmm.
And that's apparently his angle.
I unfortunately want to see more out of media representatives today because we've seen media go rampant and brainwash millions of people, including every single one of your fucking parents.
Yeah.
Mine, yours. We need responsibility from major media. I'm sick of the shit. I'm not with it. Disney can fuck itself. That woman can fuck herself. Her show can fuck itself. I don't need it.
No.
Y'all,
like
Replace her.
Replace,
Yes,
easily replace
I'm
her
with
with
you.
fucking anybody.
I'm with you. Mhm.
Any goddamn body. Put The Rock in her spot. I don't give a shit.
Look, there are. I haven't checked in on wrestling, but like I know that there are a lot more like representation for women nowadays. Any number of those women. Yeah, let's get Sasha Banks. I hope she hasn't done something shitty because let's get her. Like what? Like
Put
why
a
not?
trans woman in that
She-
spot.
Wait, if
Really
I'm not
fun.
mistaken,
I love the
she's
poet.
already in Mando.
Is she?
Yeah, she
Did I
was
just not
one
notice it?
of the Mandalorians with Ahsoka, or not Ahsoka, Bo-Katan.
Oh, okay. So we didn't get to see her. So then there it is. Let's.
Yeah, she
they
was.
took their helmets off, right?
Yep.
All of them.
Yeah, she was in it.
Okay. Well, I forgot.
That's fair.
I should have
If
saved that
you-
for next week's correction.
Damn
Yeah,
it!
so she's not in it. She should be in it.
I was right.
She's the biggest name I could come up with.
Yeah.
on the
Just get the guy who played Pietro in the old X-Men. Take her spot.
Oh, perfect.
Oh.
But since apparently within the company, Gina has issued an apology
Oh.
within the company. It's not
Okay.
a public thing.
Or do we know? I guess
I'll wait
we
for the
don't know
public
what
one.
for.
Yeah, that's the most recent thing that I saw. based on the same Patreon.
Well, if for some reason Star Wars lady, you come across this podcast, understand that you are not a friend of the show.
We
You're not
hate you.
invited.
Yeah, and we were talking earlier when we were talking about if we should talk about this. One of the new Star Wars shows on the horizon, it's called Rangers of the New Republic. And she is speculated to be one of the major characters in that show.
Get it out of here.
Yeah,
I hate
that's where that her show thing comes from. It's not Mando. Mando isn't her show.
Yeah.
That's Pedro's show.
It's
I would much
fake.
rather her become one of those right-wing internet idiots that are like, I'm being censored for my opinion. A bitch, nobody likes you.
It's
That's
Tim
the problem.
Allen all over again.
Shit. The problem is they do become like small heroes for that movement, unfortunately.
I don't
but-
care. They don't have any media control. They got kicked off of every platform on the planet. They're on Parler. I don't care what they do.
Sort of.
I was gonna say, wait, Parler, like I'm pretty sure.
That's not that simple.
They got no power. I don't care what they do.
Parler's essentially the dark web now.
The modern day equivalent.
I thought that was just page 2 of the Google results.
Yeah, close enough.
Never been
You
there.
go to page
I'm
2
on
of
the dark
Google,
web
you're like,
now.
oh my god, is that legal? Like, what the
Have y'all ever seen page 4 though?
Oh, there's that last button that skips like 10. I'm too afraid.
You can fire us immediately.
Jail, immediately. No trial.
Remember
The FBI just kicks your door down.
Straight to jail.
Remember when they did that thing? I'm not sure if they still do, where when you got to the bottom of the page, it would say Google, but each O was a different page of search results, and it would just like keep going.
Yep.
Google. Yeah.
I do.
I'm looking now.
Yeah, we
and
gotta
yes,
find
it
out.
does. It's still occurring. Google. Page 10. Let's go.
Computer shuts down,
Crashing through, yeah.
disconnected
Well,
from the call.
Looks like
Your
we got a slot
bloodborne
open on
stream
Supportcast.
stops.
Send your applications to theonlyshowever@gmail.com.
You might get on the show, but we're making no promises either. So
Oh yeah.
It's good to know I'm difficult to replace. So I'm gonna start wilding out.
now I'm just gonna start saying stuff.
That's what
You
we
guys are
wanted the whole
telling me I need to get on Twitter more.
Yeah. Yeah. That's part of what we're saying.
Yeah. Be on Twitter. I feel like I've been slow on Twitter. I feel like at the end of the day, I'm like, shit, did I tweet something? And now it's like, oh man, I gotta say something now. And like before it was something I would be consciously thinking about, but now that it's gone on even longer, it's like, oh
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're not planning it in.
my autofill on my browser just doesn't even know what I'm talking about when I type it out. It's just Twitch. You want Twitch?
Twitch.
No, that's not how you spell Twitch. You don't put a second T there.
Too many T's, dude. Back
Did
it
you
up.
mean?
Twitch is that way.
no.
That's clearly a mistake.
You took a wrong turn at the first T. Yeah, so Gina decidedly bad.
Gina is suck.
Yeah.
Gina.
The end.
Give from the future. Okay. Pretty much while we were talking about it, Gina Carano's been let go from the show. She's gone.
We did it. We did it, Joe. We did it, Joe.
We did it.
Oh.
Yeah, they said she's no
Fantastic.
longer employed by Lucasfilm and there are no plans for her to be in the future. Nevertheless, her social media posts denigrated people based on their culture and religious identities are abhorrent and unacceptable. Wow.
Agreed.
Yeah,
good job.
absolutely. Wow.
Yeah.
You know what? You love to see it. You
This
love to see it.
is yeah, like it's amazing that it happened like as we were recording our initial conversation about it.
We need to push this week early. Go.
Well,
I mean,
is she gone? Is she do they replace her, or is
Oh,
Cara
what
Dune done?
what to do with that character? I feel like you can recast that.
You could
Like,
recast that for sure.
You could recast it, or you could just kind of phase in a new character. I feel like characters are really in and out in The Mandalorian anyway. She was kind of the one heavily recurring character, and I don't think it would be hard to just find another strong female character to work into
Yeah.
the story.
True.
they were able to do it with Rhodey from the Marvel movies. Like, I think they can do it. Like,
It's tough because Gallery is this show that Disney Plus has been putting out that's a behind the scenes thing, and they talk about characters in the Star Wars universe being identified by their silhouette. Like, you don't need to see them, you can just see their outline and be like, that's that person. And they specifically said Cara Dune is one of those people. You could see her
Okay.
sitting up on that weird round thing with the legs running around, and you can be
Yeah.
like, that's her. So
She was a cool character, and
Yeah, but-
I'm fine to see her character go away, and we don't have to put someone else there. But
sure,
yeah,
yeah.
I know it's tough for them too because they're planning several seasons ahead. Like Rosario Dawson was cast to be Ahsoka before season 1.
oh, I bet, and good. Rosario stays.
Right, but now I'm like, if they're 2 seasons ahead, like either Cara Dune's gone and they have a lot of work to do, or it's someone new and they go back on that whole silhouette thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think the easiest thing would be to go back on that silhouette thing. I don't think that would be it. Like, I feel like that's a very probably small thing for deep fans to have heard about, but
Yeah,
at the same time, write something else, y'all. That's your job.
You're,
Fix it.
you have Disney money. Make it
wow.
happen.
I didn't think they'd actually do it at this point, honestly. I thought
No.
that we'd gone this far and the ship had sailed.
Never too late to get him.
Yeah, it's months in the
Yeah.
making, right? Like, we didn't know.
Yeah. I think I was to a point where it was like, she's going to be on the show, and that's what it is. It's going to be, I guess Jon Favreau being like, she's good, or whatever, or whoever it might have been, right? But
Mhm.
oops.
Yeah.
And I'll say Disney, good move, or I guess Lucasfilms, but whatever.
She might be done.
Oh
If
yeah,
Disney's
probably
willing to let her go.
no career. Well, you know what? She couldn't act anyway. She was like a cool character or whatever, but it's not like she was carrying it. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Mel makes movies now again, so
Well,
no,
I
we'll
mean,
forget who she is. Yeah.
Mel Gibson, I haven't been following him too closely. I know it takes a lot for adults to change their character. Like it's something like by the time you're like 20 something, you need a significant life event to change who you are. You're no longer like developing your personality. I feel
Mhm.
like what happened to Mel Gibson may have changed him. Maybe he's just not showing it and we don't know. I don't know. But
I think there's things that Mel could have changed, which, the most obvious of them could be his like anger issues. And I'm willing to believe that that's where a lot of his sexist comments came from. The thing I have a hard time believing has changed about him is the anti Semitic comments he made
Mhm.
because they're deeply rooted in his Catholicism. So, I mean, it takes takes a lot to take your like religious beliefs in a different direction. And maybe someone's explained to him Jews didn't kill Jesus. these are these are not the Jews you're looking for. Like,
what?
shut the fuck up. But I don't know. I have a hard time, and again, he can change, and I think he can change and fade into obscurity and get a day job, just like the rest of us. I don't think the line here is jail or no jail. It's just Hollywood doesn't need to support this man anymore. He does not deserve widespread attention or fame or money in that way ever again.
Right.
It's just some Hollywood dudes that were like, but we liked Mel. Like, let's just shake his hand and he can work and we won't like show him to anybody. And it's like, okay, yuck, y'all. Yuck.
Yeah.
Because y'all weren't the ones he was offending. And that's always what it is. You weren't the victims of what he did or said. And so it's really easy for you to move on from it. That's not the point.
Yeah.
Hollywood. Listen up, Hollywood.
Pay attention.
Another world issue solved by this support class.
Easy clap.
I think we can file this one under done, and well done at that.
Mission accomplished. That kind of snowballed into a further conversation on the Discord, which was the more we look into it, everyone we thought who was cool isn't. For the most part, Eric Clapton came up, who happens to
Eric
be
Clapton.
a rampant racist.
You piece of shit. But you know what? I'm gonna stop myself right here because I have a tendency to go for the mean jokes on Eric, and you can catch that on the Discord.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That will
YouTube won't like that conversation.
Nah, we ain't doing that one.
But yeah, it was like, and then we started like, is there a relationship somewhere between you being a shitty person and how good is what you make, right?
Oh,
There
we're always wrestling with that, right?
Yeah.
There's a relation. Oh, like what do you mean, like
As you get better,
causation?
can you get away with more stuff?
Oh,
Right.
Yeah.
well,
like,
and
up
it depends
until-
on what genre you work on, and it depends on who you are. Because you white man, yeah, yes, and honestly, a lot of like men in hip hop, yes.
You got a big
Chris
ticket to ride in
Brown,
hip hop for
Chris
sure.
Brown, I'm looking at you,
The
and
music
like,
industry protects it, like they're shitsters.
I'm fighting for my
Yeah.
life. I just remember that because everyone knew R. Kelly did all these things, and then all of a sudden, everyone was just kind of like, "Oh,
Wait a minute.
yeah,
Damn, hold on.
he
And then
did
all the
do
people
that."
that had like collaborated with him since like that, the infamous trial, were all just like, oh, I just like was trying to get somewhere with my career at the time. I was like, yeah, that was shitty, even like regardless of what you have to say about it. Sorry, no.
But there are a lot of, now, to be fair, the examples that I'm thinking of, there are a lot of like white men in the industry who get canceled very quickly. But the examples that I'm thinking of are, you are objectively a bad person, right? Like a Kevin Spacey or a
Ooh.
Harvey
or
Weinstein, a long time.
Harvey.
Well,
It
Harvey
took-
got the
it
ticket to
took-
ride because of the massive body of work and the huge amount of wealth. Like he was the name behind so much Hollywood that he was hard to cancel.
Yeah.
You take people like I catch some flack for this because people will disagree, but like you take people like Mel Gibson, that's an easy cancel. He's not given us that fucking much. Like Mel Gibson's content, middles. We can cancel that,
Didn't he make Braveheart?
Yes, and I don't like
He
Braveheart.
was in Braveheart. Yeah.
in Braveheart.
He was in Braveheart.
Lethal Weapon.
yeah. He made the Passion of the Christ.
Which fuck that movie. Like what the fuck? Who
via
cares?
which he like
That just makes him
blamed
easier to
Jews
cancel.
for killing Jesus.
That's what he was craziest.
But I mean, in your example of Kevin Spacey, that
He's
took
objectively bad man, though. That's
it took decades for that man to be canceled.
Yeah, true.
The boy that he raped is in his 40s. I've watched that man live on stage. Like, he's been performing. He's had a career for years. But like Kevin Spacey has, was his rapist this whole fucking time, and he's not the only one, right? Like, it's been at least like 2 to 3 decades since the first alleged, act of Kevin Spacey for him to get legitimately canceled. And Kevin Spacey's kind of his own discussion, because that creepy video he put out after he got fired is like otherworldly, fucked up, weird shit. And I don't
But-
know if you'll seen it or not, but it's fucking weird.
correct me if I'm wrong. as soon as the information was out, he was done. I don't think it was like a years-long battle for everyone to try and get him out. Like, he just wasn't speaking up, which of course is fucked up in its own right. But we weren't like over years being like, no, like he really did it, you know? Like as soon as the information came out, everyone was like, oh, bye.
Some people were saying it for a while. Like you can look back at like some Family Guy jokes or gags that like actually not just, I think Seth MacFarlane himself like made like a joke at an award show or something like that. I'd have to double check again, but like people had kind of said things before, but yeah, like it didn't seem like the general population picked up on it very until that point. But yeah, you're right. Once we knew about it, yeah, it, like the industry, like
yeah,
he was off House of Cards right away. He was shut down so fast.
I would be hesitant to even make that claim. I don't know. We wouldn't know about those reports, right? That I don't doubt at all that people have made complaints against this man and went dismissed. Maybe it didn't catch public attention, but I don't think that's a good excuse.
Oh yeah.
I think
the industry knew
the
about
point
Cosby
we're trying to make. Well, the point we're trying to make is that this is like very systematic and it gets covered up in the like system level, right? Like we're outside that. And once the bad PR gets out, Harvey Weinstein goes to jail.
Right.
Cosby goes to jail.
It took Hannibal cracking enough jokes on Twitter for us to be like, wait a second.
Wait.
He is a rapist, isn't he?
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, that's the funniest part again, to come back to like that I found so weird about the whole R. Kelly situation was we all knew it was happening. It just never clicked. It was like
we like wave in front of everyone's faces.
Yeah, and it was like, guys, remember, this is bad. Like, and this was like 10
trial.
Yeah, this was like 10, like maybe I don't know exactly when. Let's say, for example, the one where he peed on that girl. Right. That was a long time ago, and everyone heard about it, and we were like, "That's weird." And now it's like, you can't do, like, obviously that's not okay. And to flip things on its head, we have another person we wanted to talk about. I'm going to hand it off to Alex, who you have some thoughts on this.
Oh, I mean, it's a little heavy.
Only vaguely.
It's decidedly
it's not rape.
It's not systematic covering up of rape. You know, it's still relevant to what we've been talking about, though. But the Britney Spears documentary, so it's called Framing Britney Spears. It's on Hulu. If you haven't seen it, you should watch it. I think it's New York Times did this. And I think I talked last week. I don't remember what I should have listened and remembered. Well, I can't listen. It's not out yet. But anyways, we mentioned Britney Spears and I was like, well, she's mentally ill and there's like reasons for this and that and this. And I don't want to like, pass judgment on them yet. But it was like right before this came out, or at least right before it caught my attention. And oh god, what a saga. So first off, hashtag free Britney. So I'm decidedly on that team now. And I kind of always had an inkling that something was up. But I mean, y'all know what happened with Britney, right? Like we saw this meteoric rise to fame as a young child, highly sexualized. I mean, a lot of that being her own sexualization of herself, right? Like Baby One More Time, the little schoolgirl shit. She was like 16, 17 at the time. So like already doing like sexy shit underage. And that was a topic of debate. The documentary goes on to talk about how this might have been tied to like the media reacting to the Monica Lewinsky thing. We were already just like really deep in the like sex talk and we were just like, hey, she's too sexy. And so right out the gate, just like, ew, sexy children, which is, a little gross, but it's also like a teenage girl just kind of owning who she is, not doing anything wrong, right? Like 17-year-olds want to dance sexy and will never be able to stop them. But so we just have this whole situation where we're already just like attacking this girl, but also like sexualizing her further by like, I don't know, you're seeing interviews where men are asking her like about her. She's like, oh well, the topic that everyone's talking about, and she's like, what? And they're like, your breasts, and she's like, what? Like, and it's just like constant barrage of this bullshit to this poor girl, right? And she's growing up just like learning this lesson fast and hard. Like, and it super fucking gross. You see a video of her where she's a child and the guy's coming up to her and he's like, she's just belting her fucking heart out, and he's like, oh, like everyone said about your performance that you have such beautiful eyes, and asks her like, do you have a boyfriend? And this girl's like 5. And she's like, no. And he's like, what about me? And she's like, I don't know. It's just like whole life shit. Um, but by the time she's an adult, we're angry at her for it, right? It's not even her parents anymore. We're just like, fuck you for being sexy, Britney Spears. And, you know, she goes on to date Justin, who I kind of was like realizing I don't like. And now I actually don't like him. Just like, you know, all stuff we do, reminded of it. The whole like they dated. Are you a virgin, Britney? And she was like, yeah. And then he was like, I fucked her on like whatever radio show. Super gross. Writes a song about her cheating. Super fucking gross. But so all of this leading up to this like pretty like affected woman right now. She's a grown woman and she's just been swirling in all of this like controversy her entire, you know, teenage to adult life. And just this huge media scrutiny, the paparazzi, all of that. It comes to a head when she has her child, right? With K-Fed, and it becomes
My
this
God.
like this very unsafe situation. Now we can like criticize her for something else, and it's like the way she takes care of her child. Mind you, the unsafe situations are being created by the need for attention on her, this paparazzi shit. Making her have to like flee with her fucking kid in her lap and all this stuff. I'm really like going into more detail than is necessary, but I really want to like emphasize the like what we put this woman through,
Mhm.
and like, you know, now media is calling her a bad mom. She eventually gets her kids taken away, and she's trying to get them back. Paparazzi swarming her constantly throughout this, making her look like a crazy idiot. And she flips out on them and she shaves her head because she's just like losing control of her life. She has no control of her life. It's like we're calling her a bad mom. We get her kids taken away. She tries to get them back and we like just like buzz in her ears so that she just looks worse and worse and can't get them back, and she loses it like in a really regular fucking way. She shaves her hair, you know, like she just like wants something normal, just like fuck it, don't look at me, like don't look at me.
Yeah, it's like
um
taking control, right?
yeah. Well, and if it's all about just like me, then like it's not me anymore, like the Britney's dead, you know, whatever. um but throughout all this, she eventually ends up in the hospital for her, you know, mental health, and very quickly gets put under a temporary conservatorship by her dad and another attorney. And it's supposed to be temporary, and it's a conservatorship is something that you only typically use on very like elderly people who are not able to take care of themselves. And I think I think just, you know, I'm slowing down on it, but it's just essentially a way for her to see her kids is what it boils down to. Is that this got left in place. It felt like it was never supposed to be left in place, but it's the only way that she gets to live a normal life and see her children. But it does mean she gets to make zero business, financial, and a lot of times personal decisions for herself because she's being treated as mentally, physically unable to do so. And just, the point that she's trying to make now is that she just doesn't want it to be her dad. Um, and she doesn't have a relationship with him. And like a lot of people in the beginning of this show were talking about how he only ever showed up once or twice and really only talked about money when he did and how she was going to make him money. Um but she's really only fighting for this to like change hands at this point because I think she just like wants to live a life where she gets to raise her children. And it's just such a fucked up situation and like it's something to bring awareness to, but I think it's also something to bring awareness to us about our participation in that shit. Because I absolutely laughed at the Britney jokes. It was such a huge thing. And like, we did this to this woman, and we need to, like, as a society, acknowledge that and try to, like, loudly help her now. But yeah, I mean, I tried to be as quick with all that as I could, but I just it's something that really, really hit me this week.
Mhm.
And but
Now,
yeah.
yeah,
I don't have a
to
lot to add, but I would say episode 4, Free Britney.
that's the title.
Free Britney.
Um, I haven't seen it, but I'm wondering. I don't know how old her kids are now. Is for the sake of raising her own children, is it too little, too late?
No, I think she has like custody, not full custody, but does have access to her kids. They live with her on occasion, I believe. I think that the conservatorship made way for that. Um, and I think by that point we'd like, sufficiently broken this woman
Yeah,
into handing over control of her life to someone else. And I mean, a lot of the attorney for her dad, or at least on the conservatorship side, is interviewed in the documentary, and they ask her like, "Has anyone ever gotten out of one of these, like a conservatee?" And she's like, "Not that I've seen," essentially. And like, it's just we've just like put her in this kind of like unbreakable situation. The burden is really heavily on the conservatee in these situations because essentially they're paying for all of their legal fees, all of their conservators' legal fees, and their legal teams. Like everything is on them financially. Like it's all their life. It's just being controlled by someone else. It's just very strange. We've just locked her in this weird little legal world with
yeah,
someone she doesn't want to be locked in with.
yeah. I think it's kind of tough to get out of that just because like you do it to people who are like senile and
Right.
don't know
Yeah.
any better. So if you're like, no, I'm better, please stop. It's like, well, if you're really senile, you aren't because you don't know any better. And so it
you're-
just becomes this
Exactly.
endless loop.
you by definition can't make that determination, right?
So I
Yep.
guess I guess the out is get a professional to assess it who isn't paid off
Yeah. I mean,
because they almost certainly would be paid off with such a high profile thing, right?
Yeah.
Like for all the people who put her in this in this situation, like they were definitely
Totally.
just pushing it one direction.
Her dad could pay them off with her own money, right?
Right.
Like, yeah, and well, I mean, I think she hired her own legal team at one point, and that man speaks in the documentary and talks about like how he spoke with her and to his, best knowledge, felt that she was of sound mind, like asking him to do these things for her. Um, but I guess, and this is, I think, at the point of an appeal. So the conservatorship is in place. And I think at some point it was ruled by the judge, just like called him up and was like, hey, no, because she's in this situation, because she's a conservatee, she isn't of sound mind to hire you. We're appointing her someone. And so they did. And it didn't get, changed. I do think they actually did walk some of it back in the last trial. I think I have to go back and remember the specifics of what the last trial did, but I do think it like opened the door to replace her dad. But he is still a part of it from what I understand. But yeah.
I'm now wondering if this ends, right? That's it. Is she just done? Like she'll have one and it's like, I'm just gonna, live my life, or will there be some huge next level comeback?
Right. Like something she's been sitting on that she just
Or-
didn't want to release to her dad.
Or it's like, fuck that life I used to live. That's
Right.
what got me in this mess.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, but I would expect that over, like, especially she's a mom now and she's
Yeah.
trying to raise your kids. Like, I would
but
expect her to do her best to just never be a headline ever again.
But her kids have got to be pretty old, right?
I think they're probably like 12, 13.
I don't know. Everybody, like, music artists just seem so intent on getting out of that and into something else most of the time. I mean, that's not always true.
What, out of the music industry?
Yeah, out of the
the
music
industry of poison.
Mhm.
But I think people also try really hard to get into it. Like when, like, I don't know, all the little actor Disney girls want to like also release a pop album.
Because it's the best optics on the planet.
Mhm.
Period.
But like when
Bar
you're in it, like look at people that like invest their money or just try to pivot to like television instead. Like
TV money is way bigger.
Mhm.
Unless you're Drake, in which case his shows are like all multi-million-dollar events. But that's
Like,
it.
everybody on, what is that, The Voice? Or
Yeah.
like, do they still make music anymore, or are they just?
Christina?
Mhm.
I know Blake Shelton does.
Okay.
Maroon 5.
I think
Oh,
Adams.
Sure.
I think he's off the show.
But he
Oh.
was.
He
was
was.
on the show. He still is Maroon 5.
I know
Pharrell.
that Christina does.
Pharrell.
But
Never
Christina
stops.
also doesn't need to anymore. She's
No.
of Britney level at this
I'd
point.
like to see her go back to ska. Actually, I'd like to
Dude, Christina
see a
Aguilera.
full circle.
Ska? Does Christina have a ska past?
Yeah, I think
Does she
it's.
really?
Hold on. Let me back that statement up.
Like,
with
what?
Are you
some
thinking
facts.
of
Because
Stefani?
Gwen has a base ska.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm thinking. Of
Yeah.
Gwen. I don't know the
Gwen has a
difference between-
massive ska past.
Yeah, Gwen
Yeah,
was on
I'm
the
saying-
show. I want to say Jennifer Hudson's on the show.
Well, then it'd be even more wild. Fourth wave ska, or are we on fifth wave now?
Oh, by now if ska waved again, it'd have to be like 6th or 7th by now, right? How
It's like-
many
How many waves of
waves?
ska have there been?
Yeah, so most of these people are putting out music here and there, because I remember Christina Aguilera, the first year of the show, she had that song
Ska has 3 waves.
with Fun, was it? Say Something? That one?
Oh, it's not sun or fun. It's like great big.
Oh, Great Big World or something like that?
Thinking
It might be that bad.
You guys have to see this ska website I found. Hold on. Wait.
And then Jennifer Hudson was in Cats.
Oh, good. God damn it. Oh, she's the like memories. The old cat.
So a lot of them
Wait,
that
is
are on the
she
show
still
aren't
Hudson?
really putting out
Okay,
music.
What
This
is
is-
Jennifer Hudson and Cats? 3 waves of ska. There's little animated.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it'd be fourth wave ska. We're due for fourth wave ska. I think
I
time
don't know
wise.
who we are.
No, time wise, we were due for fourth wave ska. It's gotta come from somewhere. I think fourth wave ska will be an international thing. It will not come from the U.S. It will be-
Japanese ska. Will
Yeah,
have
I think that's exactly where I'm going. Is like Japan pick up on ska and they'll be like,
J Ska.
oh,
How do you say
Yeah,
pick
it's
it up in Japanese?
what's that?
How do you say pick it up in Japanese?
Oh, I don't know. Hold on.
Google Trends.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on.
Who knows?
Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up.
Man.
Hiro. Hiro.
Now, can you say that really, really fast over and over again?
I can't without it sounding like racially insensitive.
We wouldn't
We're not
want
strangers to
that
that.
on the show.
I'll practice it. I'll practice it. But right now, bad.
Right. Yeah. So that's those are the heavy topics. We've
Yeah.
concluded
It.
bad people bad
Free
for the most
Britney.
part. Free
Free
Britney.
Britney.
Mhm.
South Park was right. Watch that South Park episode too. It's
That
one of the
that episode
most
they
poignant.
yeah
they've ever-
they really do hit the nail on the head with some of their episodes.
They get there.
Don't they like do their shows? I'm pretty sure they do all of them the night before they air.
like
Yeah, they
the
do, like,
week.
over the course of the week.
Yeah, they have a week each time.
Oh, that's what it is.
I haven't
Yeah.
watched them in a while.
Like mad last minute. It's so funny. And it's crazy that the
And-
quality is still up there.
Oh yeah.
That energy
The
that they captured
pandemic
by just like
scares-
cycling that writer's room and punching them out in a week, like it's
Mhm.
all vibe, canned up and sent out.
Yeah, totally. Geniuses.
It is genius level work to just like see how quickly they put it together, how many minds work on it, how many things that they're able to put their hands on, like holistically. Like they do the music, they write it themselves, they are
They
the
do the
voices.
voices. Yeah.
It's
And they stay
really
funny.
homegrown. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
good shit. Gotta respect it.
And thus concludes the heavy segment of the show.
Yeah.
Have fun.
Put it down.
Have fun editing that.
Boys and gamers, Gib from the future again. Two in one episode. We've never even had one, and in this episode we're getting two. That is crazy, okay? But here's the thing. Britney Spears, there's been a development. Her father lost the bid to retain control of delegation of her investments. So they've recently appointed a firm to be the co-conservator to her. So it's not just her dad controlling her money. There's a firm now. And they went to court the day after we recorded this podcast, this episode right here, to say you can't appoint the firm, and that was denied. So more power is being taken from her dad and being put to this firm. And that's kind of what Britney and her legal team are going for right now. They're trying to get all of her stuff not necessarily out of the conservatorship, but given to a firm rather than her father. So, big win, support class win again. We're just solving all the world problems. All right, back to the episode. Let's go to the staples. Patrick, what happened this week for you?
Man, it's been a boring week. I gotta be real.
Yeah.
I worked. I chilled at home. I spent the last 12 hours right here working on all this shit. Been quiet.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Alex, you have any crazy big things happen this week?
Nothing that big this week, honestly. No, it's been a pretty regular week. I started playing Bloodborne again. That's really the most exciting that's happened to me. But
That's what I wanted to ask. Is like, what's everybody playing? Like
Yeah.
Offspring specifically.
ooh, nothing off stream.
Nothing
I've
Offspring.
been trucking a little bit.
Yeah.
You been trucking?
Just a little bit.
I've
know?
seen you picking up the 2077 again, Remy.
Mm-hmm. It works again.
That's great.
Yeah, it's in a working state, so we gotta play it while I can, and then a patch will come through, break it again, and then we put it down until the patch after that.
Yeah, we love a
good system.
functioning game.
Because I'll just be restating. It's like a great story, and I'm experiencing it, and it's lovely when it works.
Mm-hmm. I've Twitch analytics have gotten me to pick up Valorant again.
Oh, you mentioned that.
Yeah, it's it brings me back. It really does. I remember why I don't like competitive shooters.
Mhm.
But this one's still kind of fresh, and like I'm working on a mindset of not being upset at these things.
just like flashes of Overwatch occur.
Flashes of Overwatch and CS:GO, and but yeah, that's what I've been picking up. It's a good time. I've been playing it with a few friends. I played it back in beta with that same group of friends, and right when I went to pick it up, my friend messaged me like, "Hey, we're picking up Valorant again. If you want to play again." And I was like, "That's so weird." Like the same day, I was like, "That's so weird. How weird." The world works in such crazy ways.
Wait a minute.
I grabbed that Valheim.
I saw you boot that up.
Yeah, did a little demo. That's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
How you
By the
feeling
time y'all
about
are listening to this, I might have streamed it by now.
Oh,
But
Ooh.
it's gonna be a lot of fun because you can get like 10 people onto a server with that. So if it wants to go big, you can go big.
mhm.
If you don't, you ain't got to. It's like a single gig. The whole game is like 1 gig large, and just like flicking through like the skill trees, the items, the world size. I was like, that's a lot in a gig. That's a
Really?
shitload.
I don't believe you.
I was like, what?
That alone is making me go, maybe I should take this game more seriously.
It's pretty sick. I got it. Like in first impressions, I like it.
Good. All right. I still know nothing about it, but I'll look at it now.
We were talking about it
You know,
on
Viking survival. It's cool.
That's the thing, yeah. We were talking about it on your stream, right, Alex?
Last night,
And
a
I
little
was
bit.
like, I don't think of those two things as being together, like Viking survival game. Like I like Viking games and I'm familiar with survival games, but I would have never, you
Look.
know?
Do you see a fjord? Survive in it.
Okay.
Perfect.
Viking
Yeah.
survival.
Yeah,
Good
YouTube
point.
keeps recommending a video to me. It's like you'd like this video, and it's like how build your roofs better in Valheim. And I'm like,
Nice. I was struggling with that last night. So send me that video.
okay, I'll share it with you. But I haven't watched it. It's like I don't play that game yet. But I'm not gonna tell you I'm not interested, YouTube, because you know me better than I know me. Sometimes.
They do know when I'm about to re-click on Machine Gun Kelly. Like I didn't think I was gonna do it, YouTube, but
My friend
god damn it, here I go.
My friend got to a point on YouTube where he was getting recommended videos with like 400 views.
Sick.
It was-
Oh, deep,
and they
like,
were
deep-
all just shit posts. But it was
Real
like,
shit.
he's deep in it. Like, how do you get there?
Your friend is the kind of viewer that like keeps small content creators alive. He's bless that man. Bless that man for finding those videos,
Find us.
or
Find
for
us.
having YouTube bring him those videos. I
He
should
really does walk this earth, doesn't he?
He does. And then staple number 2 of the show is Patrick, we'll start with you again. What are you listening to this week?
This week, oh god, I have listened to so much Griselda. It's the same old week it's always over here.
say. Mm.
Yeah.
Me putting on Griselda. That's all I got.
All right, Alex, you got anything new in the shuffle?
Not so new. I've been revisiting because I went over to a friend's place. The only friend's place I go over to, I'm aware of pandemic, and we got to talking about Lady Gaga, which is what Patrick would say is one of our 10 topics that we, repeat.
They talk about roughly 13 things.
But she's a good one, and so we just like got to gushing about her, and I was like, you know what, it's been so long, so I went back and re-listened to The Fame Monster, and then I was telling Patrick tonight, I think she's the best.
It holds up.
She's
I
goated.
think Lady Gaga just does pop music better than most bitches, at least of our generation, so I don't know.
Here's
Yeah.
to you, Gaga.
Gaga.
Lady Gaga.
Amazing, an icon, and God, I won't go on about her, but
All right, so Gibb's been listening to Duel of Fates. Remy, have you been listening to anything?
Yes, I have. JID, Jid.
Yes.
If you're familiar, he is.
The old
I
Jid.
I don't know how new these songs actually are. They are new to me.
That's all that counts.
I think they're both released 2021, but he released a song with Denzel Curry. My God, it's a banger. It's just so damn good.
Denzel
Nice.
Curry. We've been
Yeah.
quoting a lot of Denzel Curry at work.
Yeah?
But only one spot in particular. In a very, 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 very old Denzel Curry song. One of, like before he ever blew up.
Okay. Yeah.
He says, and I quote, "Jizz boss, make her drink the cum sauce." And we've been saying that over and over and over at work lately. End of the thought.
Yeah. No, I love it. I love it. But they kill it on this track, bruh. That's with 3 U's. Bruh. With Denzel Curry is, oh my god, it's great. And he also dropped another song with Conway the Machine.
Griselda.
Yeah. And it's fire too. Like,
Of course it is. It's Conway.
Jid don't miss, Conway don't miss, and as far as I'm concerned now, Denzel really hasn't missed for me. It's
well, like, I'll link you over to Jizz Boss, and you let me know how you feel.
Please do. I can't wait to just like have it blare and
I got you. I got you.
These headphones, they sound great, and I'm gonna hear those lines coming through with like Denzel attitude on it.
Perfect.
So yeah, those songs, and then because my music taste is determined by the needle drop, Black Country New Road. Damn, that is pretty good. I irritated the hell out of my coworkers playing that at work.
Oh, I bet you did.
They couldn't stand it. This old guy that like plays Rush Limbaugh shit during the week. He doesn't try that shit on the weekend when I'm there. But like I put that album on and I just irritated the living hell out of him with that. And I'm not gonna lie, I enjoyed every moment of it.
It's a good record.
Mm-hmm. It is. It's grating if you're trying to work at a bike shop and you're not into it though.
Yeah. I can see it.
It's a lot.
I didn't put it on to troll him, okay? For the record, I put it on because I like it.
Yeah.
But it did troll him, and that was a bonus.
This
It's
statement
fine. Every
applies
Sunday
to
we try to aggravate ourselves at the shop now. So we did Baha Mende.
No.
We did This Is Ayaz a couple weeks ago. If y'all don't remember Ayaz,
I don't.
hold on. Let me remind myself how to spell Ayaz real quick.
Ayaz Moran? Or no,
No.
that's got to be something else.
Hold on. How do you spell Ayaz? I forgot about Ayaz.
Hey, Google! I know you're listening.
Give me the
We
results.
also did Jock Jams, which I put in the Discord the other day. I think it was like 2 Sundays back when we did it, because it has a bunch of sick hits by John Cena.
I forgot he did music.
John Cena
got a
actually
full album
has
out.
A full whole
I forgot.
goddamn album.
That's great.
And he heard a couple of Kanye beats from the time and went, "Give me a few of those, but like cheaper." And it's mad mediocre, I'll tell you.
At least it's not
But
But
bad.
we did that all day.
Mhm.
We also did Sonic R all day.
Oh yeah,
a few
yeah.
weeks ago.
That one's pretty good.
One
That
of our
one's-
coworkers hated the fuck out of us for that one
Why?
Are they?
because he's a little humorless, and Nick and I are animals. So I understand. Like, we're annoying. We've been making the same jokes for 7 weeks. I get it, guy. But we're also hilarious, so learn to laugh.
Yeah.
That's why I have a podcast.
Come on, idiot.
Don't come
you don't
on.
just, you
Don't
just
come
make
on.
a podcast. You have to be funny first, right? It's
Oh my god,
leads
wait.
into
We're on Spotify. Do we get to call all these artists our colleagues?
Oh,
My
yeah.
colleague. I was listening to my colleague's podcast, Joe Budden.
Our colleagues, my favorite over at My Favorite Murder, they were talking about.
I'm finally their colleague.
Yeah, me and Conan, we podcast, not together, we podcast. So
We're in the podcastosphere together.
we're
Yeah.
potters.
I'm colleagues with all of Bachelor Nation. They each have podcasts.
There you go.
We haven't gotten to you though, Gib. What have you been listening to?
Apart from Duel of the Fates.
Oh yeah, I thought we covered that. But
Yeah.
Oh,
um,
come on. That's a given.
Right.
That's a given. if you will.
A given.
Given.
There.
You don't have to do that. Think about it before you reject it. But apart from it,
So a couple weeks back, I mentioned the band In Hearts Awake and their newest album. It came out in like August, so I'd already listened to it, but I revisited it because I was talking about it. Metalcore band, and it's just some big left-wing stuff where it's like lots about the environment, and this one song called Hellbringer is about religious people thinking they're doing the right thing, but like and being like, oh, you know, metal is the devil's music, and then like the big thing is like, well, who's the devil now, because you're praying for people who are pretty shitty. And the album has some good messages, but if you're not a fan of the metalcore sound, you're not gonna like it. And then
that's cool.
the other you guys listen to that new Phineas single, American
Mm-mm.
Cliche?
No.
I liked it. I'm a fan. And you know what? We're probably going to come back next week and Patrick's going to be like, what the fuck?
Gib, you have shitty taste, my
Yeah.
guy.
American Cliche. No, I'll give it a spin.
Let's check it out.
Yeah.
Oh, and I figured out how to spell Iyaz. It's Iyaz, and he made Replay. Shoddy is like a melody in my head.
What?
So we did that all day.
Replay by Sean Kingston? Isn't Sean Kingston?
No.
I
thought he was.
I think iPod stuck on replay. Never mind. I'm thinking of the wrong word. The wrong line. Wait, no. What? Hold on. What am I thinking of? I'm
I
about
don't
to
know.
Google a bunch of Sean Kingston
While
shit.
you look it up, I remembered another track that was new to me. Every Time I Die has released a new track, which has
Really?
me stoked for new Every Time I Die album sometime this year.
That one slid under my radar.
AWOL, AWOL.
Oh, yeah, look at
Let
that.
me see it. Let me
Yeah.
see it. I'll have to check that out later.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
I was listening. I put it on as I was driving home from work one day, and then I realized I was speeding as a result. And I was like, "Oh, okay, hold on a second. Let's slow it down. We're getting to my neighborhood, not on the tollway anymore."
Yeah. And then in other, what's up, Alex?
I'm getting weird results.
Weird results.
Because it's Iyaz featuring Sean Kingston. There we go. I found it.
Iyaz's song. Put some respect on Iyaz's
Hey,
name.
dude, but then you say it's not Sean Kingston, and I'm like, whoa, am I stupid?
Put
Am
some
I
respect
maybe
on
racist?
Iyaz's name.
Am I like thinking of the wrong person? No, Sean Kingston's on that song. It's
Which
fine.
one? On Replay?
Replay.
Okay, he's just not like
It's not
credited.
his song. It's not. But
On Spotify, he's not.
Yeah,
okay. But
that's why.
go to Spotify. Let's go to
Keep some
Sean
respect
Kingston.
on Iyaz's name. I might not remember how to spell it, but it deserves respect.
He had a song with Travis McCoy. Wow, why didn't he blow up?
Ooh.
Yeah,
Deep cuts right there.
I mean, Bruno Mars did. So
I guess by that logic, yeah. Damn.
Why? That's so weird. Ugh, now I'm really this is a conspiracy. I'm gonna have to dig into this whole Sean Kingston replay shit.
There's
Okay.
nothing to dig into. I don't know
It just
what.
goes
I
all
think
the way
he's
to
just
the
on
top.
the song.
Iyaz made a
But it
song
doesn't-
called Replay. Sean
But he
Kingston's
doesn't
on it.
like get credited. Everything that credits him are like YouTube videos. I just I'm so why is this like a weird non-credit situation?
Maybe he's only in the music video.
No, that's not even the music video. It's just like pictures of Sean Kingston with the song on YouTube.
This is a
Who knows?
Mandela effect thing
I
happening
know.
here.
That's yeah. But
You and a group of people are remembering Sean Kingston involved in this project, and he just
he just wasn't. But I'm not alone. That's all I need to know.
And then in other news, for when I was looking at music, to my release radar and like the charts, this is my epic segue. For the Weekend songs are back on the charts.
Oh,
Who would
really?
have thought?
Yeah,
Oh,
and I think I think they were all in the halftime show.
That
Every
makes
single
sense.
one of them.
Because he slid a House of Balloons track in there, didn't he?
I
Hold on.
don't know. I'm not a. Although The Weeknd is from the same neighborhood as Mike Myers.
Okay.
Because we were talking about him. Actually, that was on my stream. I thought that was on the podcast. Yeah, weird. It's Scarborough's an interesting place. You get Mike Myers and The Weeknd.
What did you guys think of the halftime show?
Didn't watch it.
Yeah, I caught the end of it, and I'll say it being the final song, we caught all of Blinding Lights. It's pretty low key. It's like a really. I imagine if that was the like ending number, the whole show was very like, eh.
Yeah, I didn't watch it either. It's one of those. Well, because like I wanted to know what your take was. It ended up being. I was stuff, but like, I've just seen the memes that have come from it that are comparing him to Luis Guzman, and I love those pictures because they're spot on.
They kind of are.
The trouble for me,
yeah,
was we've seen a lot of really good Super Bowl performances, right? I think some of the more legendary recorded live sets happened at Super Bowls.
Mm-hmm.
I would always point towards Prince.
Yeah.
Because that set was other fucking worldly. I say all that to say
Janet.
The Weeknd had a fairly expensive and very whelming performance. It was fine, right? One, I think it really highlighted how not much of a singer he is. Hate to say it.
Even though that's all he is?
Even though he is just he's not even like a song and dance man. He's just a singer and he's not that great at it. All that aside, a really big stink went up this past Grammy season about a Weeknd snub. If you look at the content from that performance and you look at the songs and the aesthetics that he used to employ that performance, and you look at things that were nominated for Grammys this past year, I think it paints a brilliant picture as to why it didn't matter that you weren't nominated, my guy. You weren't going to win a single fucking thing. I'm sorry. That shit was not that good. Your album wasn't even that good. The performance for what did he spend like an extra $12 million of his own dollars for extra time or some shit? Bro, you should have saved the money.
Is
bro.
That true?
Invest in half a diamond to put in your forehead because player, it would have been better spent. This performance was not that good. I'm sorry.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen some live performances from him, and I've kind of been like, maybe this is like the first song of the night, and he didn't warm up. Maybe this is the closer, and he didn't warm up, or his voice is tired now. Yeah. But I can't say that I've seen a live performance of him where I went, damn, nice.
He tries to mask his voice with like a ton of vibrato. And it sounds so out of place. Like, no, you're off. Don't add vibrato. You're just off. Stop.
Totally. Well, but I think like beyond his live performances, his songs are fine. His songs, I mean, Blinding Lights is it's a jam. In Your Eyes, I thought that was a jam as well. But and I think didn't a lot of the correct me if I'm wrong next week, a lot of the snub talk came from him, right?
Yeah, no,
he was
felt
talking about being snubbed. And that's just kind of stupid.
He thought he had something, and it wasn't quite what he thought. Because all he did was take.
He thought he deserved something
of 80s aesthetics and dance pop that we've been on since Bruno Mars started.
24K Magic.
Yeah. All he did was like, hey, I'm gonna take this Vegas aesthetic that we've all been doing, and I'll just fear and loathing it and vibrato over the whole thing. Give me a Grammy.
Yeah.
No, thank you. No, thank you. And also, a little bit of a side note, I just want to say it. I do think it's funny that it was the Pepsi halftime show, and all the weekend does is sing about Coke.
It's true. It's true.
Really?
But like, I mean, you're up against in these Grammy categories, because I went and looked up all the categories he maybe would have been nominated for. And in a lot of those, you're up against a better nostalgic album in Future Nostalgia. And like but I mean, you're up against acts like fucking Beyonce and oh my gosh, I can't even remember. Just like all the names. For some reason Coldplay is still nominated for something. I didn't know they released music
Grammy squad
this year.
loves Coldplay.
So maybe you could make the argument that like, oh, get Coldplay out of here.
Of course.
Let
of
the
course.
Weeknd in. But it will, and then the other one was that Yummy was nominated for like best pop solo performance. It's like, okay, well, maybe we could take that one out too. So there's like some moments where he could maybe squeeze in, but that doesn't even mean he's the right person to squeeze into those available slots, right? Like
No,
his
and
album
you
was
said
fine.
you said all that to me earlier, and the problem I brought up to you was
Mhm.
Justin Bieber has been involved in the Grammys since he was like
He
9
was
or some
best
shit,
new artist.
right?
Or no, he wasn't.
And the thing you have to
Esmeralda
remember about the Grammys
Spalding.
and the nomination system and winning Grammys is that it's just a committee thing. At the end of the day, it's all a committee thing, and they've known this kid forever, and he's played their game forever.
Yeah.
He's always going to catch. He releases a single. Guess what? The Grammy committee is going to nominate it. At the bare minimum, they're going to say that's our boy Justin over there. We've been seeing him for a long time. Give him the nom.
That
And
bitch
it's
had
a
to
part of
beg for
why
listens.
it's a part of why they're so out of touch. You look at the way they handled R&B this past year. They needed to add whole extra subcategories just to make it work for them. You look at the dismal results of every rock and metal category they've touched in the last 10 years. They have no idea what's happening beyond the fact that Code Orange is killing it. It's the only thing they've put their finger on.
And Ghost.
Facts. They don't even acknowledge the like alternative and rock bands that are actually making movement in the streaming world these days. They just like, oh well, we remember. Oh fuck! Didn't Nickelback have a Google commercial this year? Let's fucking give them a nomination. You know,
What a commercial that is too.
yeah, right. It's a fucking gem. But the problem is like the Weeknd. I mean, as much as you deserve a nomination or a nod for your work, compared to Justin Bieber, he is in bed with the committee. Wholesale, it's always going to be that way. And if you make enemies in the committee by like acting like you're snubbed and you don't fuck with them, you're not going to get nominated for what it's worth. And that's not to say that I agree with the Grammys at all. The Grammys fucking suck.
No, Grammys are stupid.
Don't hold value on that. They don't know what's happening. The
They
Grammys
don't know at
are
all.
completely unaware of what's happening.
Yeah.
So don't worry about it.
I think from my perspective, the fan base was mad before the Weeknd said anything.
I think so.
And they were like, he should have been here. And to his credit, he kind of did have all the check, like all the check boxes done. Like, you know, years old aesthetic. He had Blinding Lights as like the #1 song for like a year. Like he had everything going for him. And I think, I'm not going to say he deserved a Grammy nod, but I think it was definitely expected. Just because
he made Grammy fodder.
Yeah.
So
He did make Grammy.
I'd be mad if
fodder.
my Grammy fodder didn't get baited either. Like
Yeah.
I made this for you, you old fucks.
Yeah.
Give me my gold. I get it.
Let's not forget that the Grammys are racist.
Facts.
Oh yeah.
Like actually.
Facts.
Yep.
So, and I feel like that may have been a better like topic to approach for the Weeknd, because something like I deserved a Grammy and I didn't get one. Like, well, like fuck the Grammys. Like it's about me. Only brings more scrutiny on your work. Now we're all looking and being like, are we sure? Like, did it? And
To
like,
be fair, I was rocking with him until 2 nights ago.
really?
I was
I
like, nah,
wasn't.
you know what? Like, give him his little credit. He deserves it. Come on, he worked. The songs were hits. What are we doing? But
Yeah.
that performance really showed the weaknesses, in my opinion. Like it was like, wow, these songs kind of not that good. Performance kind of not that good. The visual vision, it's kind of contrived. I don't know. And the whole thing ends up reading as really unimpressive to me. It was like a really expensive, mediocre theater piece, and now I don't think you deserve the nom anymore.
Right.
Like, it just was. It was not good. It was not good for me.
I don't think I've heard something from him that has really clicked for me. I'll go on record saying that. Like, it's just nothing. I'm not. This is not me going, I hate The Weeknd. I just like. I actually don't care, man. You've just not like made any impact on me here. And
You don't do a lot of coke.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's my problem.
Yeah.
You wouldn't
I
get
kinda
it.
liked his song.
I think that's like a bit of a barrier for entry, especially his early shit. But
I think if anything, he deserved a Grammy for his earlier shit.
if we could all just rewind to House of Balloons, let's give him an award for that. Sure.
Yeah, we'll just like
Yeah, I think
before
earlier on
Drake
I was
hopped on it.
a little more. I was more interested to see where he was going, and then
Yeah.
Well, that's
and
what you
then
do.
just nonsense.
You know, you push the genre until you can sell out, and done.
true.
That's what he did.
Yep.
He was like, "Hey, I'm cool," and it was like nice, and it's like, and now I make '80s music like everyone else.
Everybody.
Right? And then I act like I'm original for it and I deserve awards.
I want to put bandages on my face and be like, "Oh, it's artsy, bro. I
Or
got
there's,
black
like,
eyes.
slides
It's
on my
art.
face in the album
Why am I
cover.
bleeding?"
You've been doing
Art.
that for a while, though, right?
Yeah, which it gets old.
Yeah.
Like, bro, hire like
Sleeper.
some bodyguards or some shit.
There's some body color.
Are
What
you
keeps happening?
okay?
Who do you like keep beating you? Like, what's going on?
Do you need help? Do you need me to call somebody?
Abel's been singing about falling down the stairs a lot.
I fell down a flight of fists.
Oh my gosh.
They
Uh,
were taking that racism angle for a bit, because I remember right after Justin Bieber, his album got nominated for like best R&B or whatever, and he was like, I didn't even apply to that category, like,
Oh my god.
and they put me in it. Like, it wasn't an R&B album.
I didn't want to be here, y'all.
Yeah.
I don't want to R&B here.
wait,
Yeah.
I might be looking at like the wrong year or something.
So
Well, they only recently changed the name of the like urban music category or some shit
yeah.
to something that was
Progressive
like,
R&B
yeah.
and rap.
Oh, okay. Is that, you know,
They still have urban and best Latin pop or urban album. Like, they just can't let that word go.
what? Fucking weird. Why can't we get rid of that? That doesn't make any sense. These songs aren't necessarily urban by definition. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Category Anderson .Paak was nominated.
Oh, but we'll still never put Lizzo in a pop category. Progressive R&B.
Mhm. I did. We
something.
kind of went full off into a tangent about music, which was great. I did want to mention though, like
My
when we were
favorite
talking
tangent.
about the Super Bowl. No, yeah, it was great. That they failed to attract. They failed to break the 100 million viewer threshold.
Damn.
They hit 96.4 million. Yeah, right. Smallest Super Bowl viewership since 2007.
That's-
Suck it, NFL. You guys suck.
That's
They deserve
unfortunate,
it.
because
Been
this
on
was
suck mode for a while.
this was like lined up to be like one of the best Super Bowls in recent memory. It wasn't, but it was supposed to be. Like, it was, you know, old
What
Tom
was that
Brady versus new Tom Brady, pretty much. Because
Oh, yeah.
Patrick Mahomes is he will be the next Tom Brady, like, unless he screws up colossally.
Do you
But without the
follow
duty in his
NFL?
pants.
I follow it enough.
Okay.
I know the big names.
Duty in his face.
Yeah, Tom Brady has duty in his pants. I don't know what to tell you.
Poopy pants.
He got duty pant.
I can't stand the NFL personally,
Yeah, I don't.
No,
follow
I-
him.
but like, because you know what gets you know what can't get you canceled for playing in the NFL? Murder. You know what can? Taking a knee.
Yep.
Yeah.
Fuck the NFL.
100%.
Fuck
When you put it
the
that way, god damn.
Yeah, fuck
think
the
it's
NFL.
Multiple
You
instances.
murder your
and-
wife. You
Yeah.
shoot your wife, and you are good to play next season. But fuck you for taking a knee.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
was
right.
like riding
Life,
with you until you
can
said
beat
that. Now
her.
I'm really riding with you.
Yeah. No, 100%. Fuck the NFL.
And outside of that, like even if for some reason you disagree with you, which would be stupid, right? Patrick Mahomes signed a contract. His contract is disgusting.
Oh,
A
no.
10-year, $503 million contract.
Wow.
Nobody
There's
should
a
be
good
one of
making
those.
that sort of money for anything. Never
No,
mind
especially not to
throwing
like
ball.
inflict brain damage on yourself
Yeah, you just
repeatedly, which
play
is
an Unga
another
Bunga
reason
ball.
the NFL sucks, is
Yeah,
that they allow their players to become brain damaged. And you know what a lot of murderers have in common? Fucking head injuries. So
Yeah, but then you get the people that are like, "Oh, so it's hazard pay." That's what's happening
No,
here. They're putting
that's
themselves
That's a
at
lot of
risk.
hazard pay.
Yeah, right.
it's a
Most
lot.
people get like 600 every 2 weeks or some shit. Come on. Our football players should make like 30 an hour. Get out of here. Get out of here.
Playing a game.
You're playing a goddamn game, player. Go get a real job on the side.
Oh, I did
Should have
that.
planned ahead.
I did
Well,
that
I mean,
to someone. It felt so good. I was at my parents were at a friend's house. There was a while back where we had very minimal lockdown stuff because it was mediocre, the numbers. So they were at a friend's house, and I pull up to pick up my parents, and I go inside and I sit down and we're talking and everything. And we start talking about my parents go, "Oh yeah, he's streaming video games on Twitch." And they're like, "People watch that?" I'm like, "Yeah, people watch that. Like it's, I play games. I think I'm funny, right?" And he's like, "But why would you?" And he looks at me. He goes, "But why would you watch the game? Why don't you just play it?" And I looked at him. I'm like, "Do you watch sports?" And the conversation was over.
Immediately like,
Yeah. Was it Senor Grafo? A great little webcomic about that, where he's like, "Yeah, you want to watch? You want to watch the game with me?" And he, and like turns and he's just playing a video game.
Yeah.
But it's presented like they tried to with the, football.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go watch the game the second we're done here. There's something that I'm like itching to see.
Yeah.
The game is on, and it's just
The
my favorite
game-
streamer playing Valheim, and I want to see that shit.
Oh. Oh.
Okay, the game's on. Sorry.
Sorry, babe. Don't talk to me right now. Fucking game's on.
Hey, I'll watch with you.
Hey, don't talk to me right now, babe. Game's on.
Headphones are on, I
He's my
can't hear
favorite
you.
streamer, too.
Sorry, babe. Game's on. Can't hear you. Bleh.
Dude, I know
What?
couples like that where it's like, oh, you don't get to like talk to me on Sundays because it's game day, bitch.
Well, you know what, Alex? You can't talk to me on Sundays anymore because I'm
Uh,
usually working.
This is true.
Hey,
You
babe,
just
me and
gotta
the boys are running low on chicken wings. It's game day.
But then we talk to him anyway. Hit him up in the Discord, Patrick.
That's true. I'm like, I'm always sitting in my bench, just like, and my man Nick is like, "How's the Discord doing?" I'm like, "It's good."
Popping
Good.
right
Tell
now.
him to join. What's up, Nick?
He can't join. He is incendiary. I'm not letting him in.
Okay.
He's fucking
He's
incendiary.
the good kind of incendiary.
No, he is on. Listen. There's no.
I
No,
trust
we
you.
don't have to-
Don't
we
listen
don't have to
anymore.
talk
I don't
about
know
it.
this man.
Look, he is excellent, and if I can, I'm trying to get him on stream because he is fucking hilarious.
He is.
But he bars no holds. Like if you say something he wants to gun you down for it, he absolutely will. That's what I like about him. But I think that was all of our topics, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think we
Yeah,
Did
we're
it.
clocking in at about
Shit.
2 hours. I think I might have.
will.
Oh, I fucked it up.
You ruined it.
Do it
That was
again,
the
do it
one and
again.
only.
Run it back.
I
That
can't
didn't
do
happen.
it again. I can't. It's the moment's gone. It's whale.
There it is. We've said it. That's this
We've
week.
done it. Capped it.
We hit some topics. We talked about women in media in a few forms. Before that, we talked about Crash. We talked about Crash Smash.
Happy
Alright.
things.
Yeah, yeah. Let's skim right over that other one. We've talked about that enough. We touched on some music. We're listening to things, except for I guess Remy. We're revisiting things, and Remy's continuing
baby.
forward without us.
Some would call me a
Forging.
pioneer. They shouldn't, but
They might.
It's
But they
misplaced,
could.
but I appreciate it.
they
I
could.
wouldn't
They're
correct.
not, but they could.
This is the part where someone hops in the Discord and it's like Remy's a pioneer, and then it's like, oh, they said I was gonna do it.
They listened.
Mario's got my back.
And then the weekend in the Grammys.
Good pod.
It was a good pod. We went a little bit longer, but I don't think anything that Daddy Anchor is going to get mad at us for.
Love all of our listeners. Thanks for hanging out with us. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Free Britney.